Hello and welcome to another episode of Curl Up with Cathy Bramley. Today in the treehouse, which I have to say it's incredibly windy today. I feel like the roof's going to blow off, but fingers crossed we'll be okay. I'm delighted to welcome Holly Hepburn to the treehouse. Holly has been a friend of mine for some time. She writes similarly to me in that a lot of her books come out in 4-part series first and then followed by a paperback. So we've got that in common. Woo woo! Holly, welcome to Curl Up with Cathy. How are you?
Thank you very much. I'm really well. Really well. Under the circumstances, doing really well.
Is that a dress you're wearing? It's very pretty.
It is. It is a new dress. It's one of the many purchases that I've made online in the vain hope that at some point I might be able to wear it outside my house.
Do you know what? It's terrible, isn't it? Every day I get emails from brands telling me that they've got some sale on and 24. I have got baskets of clothes all over on about 20 different websites. I put the clothes in the basket and then quickly click off before I buy. So I'm window shopping all the time. But I am still doing some shopping, but I think to myself, if I come back and I still like it, I'll order it.
Yeah, that's a good plan actually, and I think a couple of the places I've bought from are my favourite websites, my favourite go-to places for new dresses and things, and I think, well, I'd quite like them to still be there. I'm happy. It has petered off now. It was very bye at the start of lockdown, and now it's kind of I'm calming down now.
Yeah. So where is your favourite one? What's that one from? The spotty one.
This one is from a website called, so I don't know how to say it actually. It's Sosandar. So SOSANDAR.com. And I basically should have shares in their company.
Really? Do you know, that's one of the ones who they send me brochures through little booklets through the door, and they must be part of another company because I'd never heard of them and I've never signed up to them, and then I get all their stuff now. So I don't know who they're part of, but I do get a lot of their booklets. Very pretty. Yeah,
they're lovely clothes, and they've had, like everybody, have had massive sales on them. And my willpower is very low.
I know, so's mine. Just ask Naked Wines.
Yeah.
And then they send you an email saying, Naked Wines, this is that, there are a lot of small suppliers that are really struggling because they normally sell to restaurants and blah, blah, blah. And I think, oh no, I don't want them to go bust. I better buy a case of their wine.
Yeah, and then the problem is because it's there, you feel, well, I don't want it to go off. I really should drink some of the wine.
No, I know. And then the thing is, I've ordered another one now to come next Friday, and there's no room in the wine rack. And I just don't know what to do. It's such a hard thing. Oh dear.
Terrible situation to be in.
Terrible situation. Yes. Anyway, it's really nice to talk to you. And we've met at quite a few bookish do's in the past, haven't we? But we live quite a long way away from each other, so it's not like we bump into each other in normal, RNA meetings or anything. So I thought it'd be really nice to catch up online and find out what you're up to at the moment. So can you tell us a little bit about what you're up to?
What am I up to at the moment? Well, I'm working on part 4 of BRIGHTWATER BAY, which is my current series. I'm doing a lot of Joe Wicks.
Oh, are you? Well done.
I am. Every day, have not missed a session yet.
Brilliant. Well done.
Yeah. Well, something has to give, because the other thing that I've been up to is a lot of baking. And there's no one to eat my baking. So if I don't do Joe Wicks, none of the dresses I bought during lockdown are going to fit me at the end of lockdown. So having to do something as kind of mitigation. And also then there's the one.
Very well done. It's all about balance.
It is. That's what it is.
Balance.
I haven't quite found my balance yet. I think the weight gain is more than the exercise at the moment. But I'm trying to walk more. Been doing lots of walking with my dog, Lily, and reading. Although I tend not to read so much when I am writing. So that really hasn't been an option that's been available to me. I've kind of skimmed a few books, but I haven't really got lost in anything yet, just purely because I find it's not that it gets in the way of my own story. I just start thinking about somebody else's story, and I really don't need any other distractions at the moment. I'm finding it hard enough to concentrate as it is.
I know. I actually do quite a lot of reading when I'm writing, but it tends to be I tend to write a lot of read a lot of thrillers and things slightly outside my my normal genre. I think it just helps me with see other words that I don't normally use, you know, because you can get very stuck in your own vocabulary, I think, sometimes. So it helps me to go and jump into somebody else's. So that's quite nice. So, well, we talked there about Brightwater Bay. So I'm just going to put the cover of part 1 on the screen so everybody can see it. So Broken Hearts at Brightwater Bay is part 1, isn't it?
Yes, that's right.
Can you tell us a little bit about this one?
Yeah, look how lovely my cover is. That has been one of the highlights of the last few months for me, actually, being able to escape to Orkney, where the book's set. And just because I started writing this, like most of us really, the thing that we're writing at the moment or we're working on at the moment has no reference to the pandemic.
No.
So there's no coronavirus in Brightwater Bay, and it's been lovely just to dip in and escape from all the things that are happening in the real world for a while. So Brightwater Bay is on Orkney, and this series is about a burned out novelist who has lost her ability to write. And she has also split up from her long-term fiance, her childhood sweetheart. And so she's in a really low place. And on the spur of the moment, she applies for a writer in residency scheme on Orkney. And that comes with accommodation. It's a 6-month residency. So she basically runs away from all of her problems in London and is looking for, I don't know, that magic ingredient that will mend her broken heart and hopefully allow her to write again.
Yeah.
So part 1 is really about her arriving, finding her feet, and getting to know Orkney. So I have had a lovely, lovely time exploring Orkney. And I had planned to go. I have never been. I had planned to go to visit, but that's on hold.
Yeah.
Right now.
Oh, what a shame.
So, I know. So thank goodness for Google and Google Maps, because it has meant that I've had a virtual tour of Orkney, and anytime I want to know anything, I just pop onto Google Maps and I can actually almost be standing there. I have to imagine the sound of the birds and the breeze ruffling through the heather, and all of that. But the rest of it, it's been invaluable. And I kind of wonder if this pandemic had happened 50 years ago before the internet. I know it's been around less than that, but say, you know, if you had to go to an encyclopedia to research all of this stuff, and you couldn't go to the library because you go, well, what would we have done? We'd have been in trouble. So I've been spending a lot of time on Orkney, and it's been lovely.
Have you looked at any of Rachel Lucas's pictures? Because she went to Orkney not very long ago. She's got family there still. And so she knows it very well. And
yes, Rachel's been putting Rachel was putting a few photos up, so I was talking to her about those. But I have my secret weapon is Rowan Coleman, who has been to Orkney a few times. She spent I think it was about a week there last summer with her family, and she'd been for a weekend previously. So she was the one who inspired me to set the book there, because she was sending me all these amazing photos from when she spent the weekend there. I was like, this is so beautiful. I think we have this idea. Obviously, the Highlands of Scotland are very beautiful, very rugged, but I think I had this idea certainly that Orkney was super windswept and was rocky. And there is an element of that. It is obviously rocky, but it has beautiful sandy beaches that, you know, would rival the ones in Cornwall, from what I can see. And it's the light. It just seems to have a real sort of ethereal quality to it. A bit like the light of St Ives, which is really famous for just having a special quality. So a lot of the photos I'm seeing are just incredible, and they have this real beauty to them. So that's Rowan is my secret weapon. She was the one who was saying, well, you know, I've been to the Italian chapel today and it was amazing, you should look it up. And so I did, and then I was like, oh, this is definitely going in the book. So yes, it was Rowan really, but Rachel chipped in when she was there with some fantastic photos.
And there's a lighthouse featured on all the covers. Does that feature in the book as well?
It does in part 4, because I have tried to. Obviously, I can't visit all of the parts of Orkney because it would just be a tourist information booklet. But I've tried to go to different parts and take in different aspects of life. So visit Skara Brae, obviously. That lighthouse, the lighthouse that we visit is North Ronaldsay lighthouse. So that's in part 4. And that island is just incredible. I'm not going to say too much about it because I don't want to spoil part 4, but I'm constantly amazed by how quirky the islands are, but in a really, really good way. They're really original, and they're doing things that they've been doing for hundreds of years, and there's no rush to change things because they've been doing them for hundreds of years, so it works. Why would we change these things? So that's one of the things I really love about it. And the other thing is, of course, there's such a sense of community, which comes particularly with islands, I think. But I really wanted to tap into that as well, because writing a book about a novelist, there's obviously a certain amount of involvement of readers in that as well. So part of Mary's writer in residency scheme is that she has to engage with the community on Orkney and hold writing events and reader events and produce a piece of work that's set or inspired by Orkney. So she spends quite a bit of time with readers, and it seemed to me that the reading community has always been very strong everywhere. When I engage with readers, it's such a close-knit, lovely community, and I felt like that was replicated on Orkney from what I've read, and kind of expanded a little bit. So I know in one of the first books I talked about an event that Mary has done, and she had a really, really high turnout, and my editor said, "Oh, but we wouldn't normally have this many people in London." I'm like, "Yeah, but that's because in London there are so many pulls on people's time, and so many other things that you could be doing. Whereas when you've got a community where there's not so much distraction, maybe it pulls together a little bit more." So that's what happens in the books. So I really enjoyed capturing that sense of community that's shown in the book world and kind of amplifying it for the series.
Oh, fabulous! That sounds really good. Sounds really, really exciting. And I'm always thrilled and, well, not thrilled, not the right word, but I'm always slightly overawed by the fact that you can publish some of the parts of your books without, having got to the end yet. That's such an amazing thing, because I have to get to the end before I can, but you're so good at that. You seem to do that really, really well. So you cope. I don't think I'd cope.
Yeah, we all work in different ways, don't we? And I think our processes are equally valid across all of us. I hear that quite often. People say, "But how do you know?" Well, usually I have an idea of where I'm going with the story. But with this series, I don't know. I don't know. I know how it's going to end, but I don't know who she's going to end up with. Yeah, I still don't know.
Wow.
And I kind of have written a few scenes where I thought, right, okay, it's going to go that way. Oh no, it's going to go that way. So I still don't know. I've done polls.
How exciting! And that's quite an exciting way to write, isn't it?
You might call it exciting, slightly panic-inducing. I've never not known. I've never not known. And the problem is that it's my own fault, because I wrote 2 heroes who I really fell in love with for the same book.
Yeah.
And I didn't intend it to be that way. I had one character in my mind when I started writing the series. I thought, right, okay, this is who is going to be the one for her. And then she encounters this other character. So Niall, the librarian, is the one who, sexy librarian.
Yeah.
It's not enough. He's the one who I thought, right, okay, that's who she's going to end up with. And then she was going to meet this Viking from Iceland, who was going to be quite interested in her, but she wasn't going to be interested in him. And that was how it was going to be. And he was going to be kind of like a bit of a rough and ready, salt of the earth kind of character. And then she met him, and he wasn't like that at all. He was He was
That's so
absolutely
funny.
glorious, like Thor, made flesh, and I just and he's amazing. He's from Iceland, so he quotes all this stuff about how equal their society is there, and how he was raised by a single mum, and so therefore is really into strong women, and how he thinks Mary is a strong woman. She's like a Valkyrie. And I just fell in love with him. And then I thought, oh, but I
Poor
don't
old
know.
Niall.
I don't know. But Niall's amazing as well. And so now I got to this point where I'm like, I just don't know who I like better. And that's the crux of it, really. It's who I like better. And so actually what I've had to do is look at Mary as a character and divorce her from myself.
Yeah.
And think who is best for her.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at now, and I'm just I think I might be leaning one way and not the other.
Will you text me when you've decided? Because I'm dying to know.
I will.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh, that's brilliant. Well, so that's your second part is out.
Yes.
Third part out in July. Is that right?
Yep, at the start of July. So you'll be glad to know that's all done and dusted and written.
Yeah, we've done a few. And then part 4 later this year. I'm guessing September.
Yeah. Maybe? I think that's October.
October.
But I only have a loose grip on reality at the moment, so I'm sure
so am I. And when will the paperback be out for that then? Next spring, maybe?
Yeah, paperback's next January, which feels like ever such a long time ago that part 1 was out. And I know that I have two. You must be the same. Got two cohorts of readers. The ones who read each novella as it comes out and are impatiently waiting for the other one, for the next one. And then you've got the stalwart, I like a proper book, paperback readers, who as soon as I announce a new series, the paperback readers say, right, when's it out in paperback? And for this one, I felt really bad because it's such a long time. But we tried to spread out the novellas this time. Partly to give me a little bit more time to work on them, but partly just so I could cover a bit more time and give readers the opportunity to build up their anticipation, which I think is a source of frustration for some people, but
pleasure for others.
Yeah. So paperback's out mid-January, I think. So not a long time to wait now, although I don't know, time's a bit elastic at the moment, so who really knows?
I know. I keep thinking, have we had Christmas or is that coming?
It feels very distant at the moment, but I've got a feeling that it's next week. I don't
know. Is Halloween nearly upon us? No.
I think that might be after Christmas this year, Cathy. I think.
Do you know what? I think you're probably right. Yeah, so it's just the weirdest year, isn't it? The weirdest year. And because we've had so much hot weather as well, that doesn't help with trying to work out what time of year it is.
No, it definitely feels a bit like August at the moment.
I know, it's been so hot. I mean, I'm in this little tree house and I've propped the windows open and there is a bit of a draft through, but oh my goodness, it's like sitting in some tropical hut.
It's so funny. I didn't realise you had a tree house because we were out for our walk the other day, and part of our walk takes us past some huge houses with beautiful gardens. And I was looking at a tree and thinking, you could put a tree house in that tree. Oh, do you know, I would love to have a tree house to write in. And now here we are. You have a tree house.
Yeah. I mean, with the trees around me, I've got some big pine trees at the back, and then there are damson trees around, which scratch the roof. So there's not actually a tree that would hold a tree house. So we've just built it in the trees. So that it's just on 4 big upright pillars. Yeah. So it feels in the trees. If I turn it round, you can see trees out the window. Yeah. Did you see it? Oh no, you can't see me.
I can't see you. But when I watch this, I'll see it.
I've just shown everybody else the windows, so you can. I've got trees on both sides. So yes, it does feel quite nice, and I will have to do something about air conditioning, and by which I mean more windows, not an actual air conditioning machine, but this weather continues, which hopefully it will. Well, listen, it's been really, really good to talk to you. Thank you so much, and I've really enjoyed hearing about Niall and what have you called him?
Magnus.
Oh, Magnus.
Yeah, I feel like whichever one she doesn't end up with is definitely going to be making a reappearance in the future, because
yeah, they definitely deserve the right lady, don't they?
Yeah. And the nice thing is that I have one character from, I think, the first book, Star and Sixpence, who I don't think I finished off his story, and he occurs in almost all of the other books, pops up here and there for little cameos.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to revisit him soon as well to write
Perhaps
a book
he
about
could go
him.
to Iceland.
He could. He's already been. He's been to Orkney. So
okay.
yeah, I think he deserves a book of his own.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed for Magnus and that other one. All the men basically that you need to still sort out.
Yes, I'll do my job.
Yeah, well, I'm off to go and Google Sosander, because that's a website I haven't yet visited and filled a bag. So I will go and do that. It's been absolutely lovely to talk to you. So thanks so much, and best of luck with writing the rest of BRIGHTWATER BAY.
Thank you very much. It's been lovely to talk to you too.
Okay, you take care. Bye now.
Okay.
Bye for now. Oh, Holly Hepburn there talking to us about BRIGHTWATER BAY, which sounds absolutely fantastic. I think we all want to go to Orkney now. I certainly do. Thanks so much for watching. I'll be back again soon with more of your favourite authors. Bye for now.